Louisiana Beer Review Special Edition, Sierra Nevada Narwhal 2015. Okay, well, this is a revisit. That's why it's a special edition, because it's been almost 4 years since I've looked at the Narwhal. And I did that review in Texas with my part-time reviewing partner, Paul, who joins us for examinations when he's able to and doesn't have one of the 4 children, 6 years old and under, crying at 6:30 at night. Well, you know how that goes. Okay, Imperial Stout. Don't know when this was introduced, but this is the 2015 edition, packaged on August 10th, 2015. Okay, so we're going on a year. 10.2% alcohol, 60 international bitterness units. Chico, California, Mills River, North Carolina. I don't know if this one is, I don't know which brewery it's from. Put it in this old mixed drink glass from the porthole. Some old lounge in West End of New Orleans, which was, that area was destroyed by Hurricane Katrina. All the old restaurants gone. Thick, tan head, black. Oh yeah, I mean, it's just like the darkest brown possible. Essentially, you can say black. It's, in this light, it's like 98% black, but 2% brown. It's something telling you it's not quite black. Okay, this beer gets an outstanding score on Beer Advocate. Oddly, the bros haven't reviewed it, which I find strange. So their second highest possible score. Rapier, though, is giving it 99 out of 100 and 91 out of 100 for the style. So world class and still really good in the style. The ingredients are 2-row pale barley malt, caramel barley malt, chocolate barley malt, honey malt, carafa malt, and roasted barley. They bitter it with Magnum and Challenger hops, and they finish it with Challenger hops. Okay, July is not exactly the best time to drink it, but I don't really mind that, drinking out of season. Libby's chicken Vienna sausage and chicken broth. #1, chicken Vienna. Says it right there on the package. ConAgra Foods, Consolidated Agriculture, Omaha, Nebraska. Okay, if you get on the Libby's website, it's like a main hub website, and it'll direct you to whichever companies produce which products, because yes, it was established in 1869, Libby's, okay? I think it was originally Libby's and Hawthorne, but the family had control of the Libby family. That was in Chicago, Illinois. And at some point, we don't want to get into the whole history. You look on their website, they give it there. They were bought out and then divested, but in an arrangement where it's like, it's still Libby's, and somehow the family must get some residuals, but then different companies bought out different areas, like ConAgra controls that, like the canned meat, but then the vegetables are under someone else's control, the canned vegetables. So whatever the case, they're pretty good. They don't have the big variety like Armour, but they're good. Now here they are, chicken. I have some crackers, Captain's wafers, some pepper jack cheese, sliced yellow onions, and hot sauce. I noticed that Walmart, and I'm really hungry, so I had to eat. I'm tired of, I said, I don't want to be hungry today. It's nice to stay thin, but it ain't so nice feeling hungry. That's the trade-off. There used to be a good PBS show called Trade-Offs, and they would talk about that. It was basically the whole show. It was kind of like made for teenagers. I used to talk about that in my psychology class for the students. I said I wish every student would watch this show. and they would talk about how if you want to do one thing, you usually have to trade off. You want this, you have to trade off that. So basically talking about a type of problem solving like conflicts. And, you know, the four types of conflicts: approach, either choice is good, but you still have to make a choice. Avoidance, where either choice is terrible, like you're going to be executed and they let you choose being hung or being shot. Still have to choose, I guess, or they're going to choose for you, but it's still bad. And you have the most common is double approach avoidance conflict. There's, if you choose this, it has a good and bad side, and if you choose that, it has a good and bad side. Double approach avoidance conflict, and that's what I'm talking about with the dieting. If I diet like I've been doing since December 2001, I'm down to 145, around that area. That's the approach part. It's good. I don't know if people saying you're getting fat, and I lost over 30 pounds. I feel better. I feel a lot. I have more energy. I feel better. My clothes fit. That's nice. The avoidance part. I feel hungry a lot. That's not pleasant, really. I mean, you get used to it, but you know, you want to eat. That's how I lost weight. Never snacking. Now the other choice, I could say, well, forget dieting. I'll just eat when I'm hungry. That's the good part, because you'd be satisfied. You probably sleep better at night, maybe, unless you start getting sleep apnea and you become obese. You need to rest. The avoidance is that you'd be unhealthy and your clothes won't fit. Okay, so this. Same thing, you got to pay for it, or in this case, a guy named David from Jefferson Parish traded this. He gave me 2 of these and a bonus beer, and I gave him 2 Ballantine Burton ales, which he could not get. I bought those in Ithaca, New York, on a road trip. Okay, nice looking bottle, brown bottle, good. You say, I thought this was a beer review, not a psychological review. Okay, well, sometimes we slip those little things in. It smells roasted. They give a description of what it smells like, but I'm just going to talk about it here and then see if it matches. I think it will, more or less, because these kind of imperial stouts, they're going to have the dark roasted malts. You pick up some like chocolate, coffee, maybe almost licorice in some ways. Or raisin even, or something like that. But it doesn't have any of those ingredients. It's just what I described: water, barley malt of various sorts, hops of various sorts, and yeast. One video reviewer, he recently went on an 11-minute rant and rave about Sierra Nevada, and I watched it, and I agreed with some of it. I didn't ultimately agree with it, though, but I'm not going to say who it was. He doesn't answer my comments. I haven't commented on his channel in years. I do answer comments. I was going to make a video about that, reviewers that don't answer comments, but I was like, what's the point, you know? Some people just aren't going to do it. And somebody was telling me, well, in order to grow your channel, I'm like, I'm not trying to grow my channel. I'm not trying to get subs. It's nice, I guess, if they watch. But the whole point to me is we talk about beer, we interact and suggest things to each other. My close family and friends, most of them aren't really interested in beer aside from drinking it, like Miller Lite, guzzling it, more or less, which is fine, but they're not into tasting it in theory and different companies and the history. My father is probably the most interested, and yet he felt like he had to give up drinking beer in 2003. He says '02, I think it was '03, January, but because of health problems, like, for instance, he would drink 1 Coors Light and run a fever. Not a good sign. It's very rich in the flavor. It's syrupy in some ways, and the mouthfeel is viscous in some ways. It's dark roasted, but they pull it off because it's not like really char. It's there, and that's where a lot of the bitterness is coming from, I think, the char. But it doesn't really taste burnt. Some of these dark ales and even dark lagers, of course, they'll taste burnt. So you could just burn, toast, and eat carbon. And I don't want to eat carbon, and I don't want to drink it. There's a pretty good amount of sweetness here. Probably 4 out of 5 sugar cubes. Bitterness is probably 4 out of 5 hop cones. Although I think this bitterness is to a large extent coming from the acrid nature of it. But interestingly, not a lot of alcohol pickup. Almost no alcohol pickup, really. So that's a good sign, I guess, for most people, including me. I'm not really into the boozy. I mean, I don't mind the boozy parts of a beer because it gives it a lot of character. But I'm not in love necessarily with the taste of the alcohol, the chemical combination, you know, alcohol. It's in the background, but it's not prominent. It's subdued. It's a medium wet finish, and the drinkability is not bad. Yeah, it's hot outside. I'm inside though. I have the air conditioner on. It's not running right now, but it dries the house out. It's not too humid in here. Outside, yeah, it's really humid. It was 97 degrees 2 days ago. That was oppressive. Miller Lite was much better in that temperature. But here right now at 9:30 a.m., this is fine. Even much better than fine. I would have to give it an A+. It's outstanding. I'm not going to say world class, but A+. Okay. Trader Joe's, I've had some really unpleasant, when you think about it, experiences with them to a large extent. Some good stuff, but lots of questionable products. I found that their store brand sherry wasn't too enjoyable off the first 2 little glasses. You say, well, it might develop better as you drink on it. It's true, but when I had the Fairbanks, the Taylor, and the Christian Brothers, it was good from the start. I didn't have to drink 3 or 4 glasses for it to develop, okay? I find that other Trader Joe's house brands aren't too delicious at all. But whereas Walmart, if you try a lot of their substitute brands, great value, it really is a great value. Yeah, it's cheap, like their Vienna sausage, their, well, a lot of stuff that you can think of. Canned meat or packaged cheese, or it's comparable to the major brands. And Walmart probably has a lot more money to make sure that it's going to be good. And they're probably contracting with credible companies also. So I just find that their private label stuff is much nicer than Trader Joe's, which is very often questionable or even unpalatable. This Great Value hot sauce, for instance, it doesn't taste like a store brand, some cheap junk. I have a feeling it's probably done by Crystal hot sauce, which is Balmer Foods. I don't know. But that's a good little snack. I mean, once I do the little short march through the Vienna sausage brands, not the long march, that's for beer, then I'll never be eating them again, I'm sure, except like I used to once every 5 to 10 years. But it's a, cute little side project, I guess you'd say, or some people roll their eyes and say, no, it's an idiotic little side project. No, that's fine if you think that. And I'm not worrying too much about it, I can assure you. So dynamite stuff here. In the world of Vienna sausage, okay, this is a dynamite product, rivals Armor. So les bon temps roulé. This is kind of intense. That char is like. So if you're not into really strong, bold, intense flavors, this is gonna not appeal to you. I can see, I'm talking about Miller Lite, I can see Miller Lite drinkers thinking, this stuff is awful. I mean, they would be given an honest opinion, but I don't think it's awful. I think it's wonderful. So Les Bon Temps Roulé, A+ beer, and y'all come on down to New Orleans.